And I guess thank you everyone who contributed to the Spanish intro. It's something.
Para
Yeah.
mejor intro de la noche. Pronunciation.
Oh god.
Pablo, eso es todo lo que importa. I don't know what that means, but I hope my pronunciation was passable.
It's not bad. It's not bad. It's a little bit awkward because you're like, yo, okay. When you say whatever you're gonna say, doesn't matter how it sounds. You gotta say it with confidence. You know, you gotta be like, yeah, I know what I'm saying. I know I'm fluent in Spanish.
Eso por favor. There you go.
I like how your version of confidence is just yell louder.
That's how I'm confident. Hang on, I need to message someone real quick before we start. Zeph, why did you do this? Why would you do this to us?
Oh god, Zeph, she's actually Hispanic. She's actually like half Colombian. So she's gonna be
Zeph was
judging.
the one that completed it.
Yeah.
Why would you do this to me? Why me? What did I do?
Oh god.
What did I do to deserve this? What have I done?
So for some context, we've been casting a lot of Latin American tournaments, and a lot of people love it when sporadically we do like a Spanish intro. So the majority of the contributions to this were done earlier today and yesterday when we were actually casting Latin American tournaments. But of course, it gets completed when we're casting Southeast Asian tournaments. Like, god damn it!
Southeast Asian tournament with a person that doesn't know Spanish. There are more than one. There is a non-zero amount of casters that aren't me that speak Spanish other than like, and of course I'm the one that, oh my goodness. Can you please introduce the map in the bottom left hand corner there?
Alright. Aquí estamos en Sueño Eterno en la inferior sección de la mapa de este torneo de Australia, de South America, Southeast Asia. Tenemos el Zerg player, tenemos representando los, oh god, el filipino, él es rojo, él es del equipo GDA, es Nuks.
En la esquina superior derecha del mapa tenemos Seither. I not gonna.
¿De qué equipo? ¿De qué equipo? What team?
Mind Freaks.
¿De dónde es? Oh god.
Why would you do this to me? Who did this? Well, I know who did this. Seth, please. Why?
God damn.
What did I do to deserve this? Oh no. This is gonna get clipped and the entire LATAM scene is gonna laugh at me.
God damn.
I'm gonna be the cringe compilation of the entire LATAM ST2 scene. This is the end of my career. I'm gonna get cancelled.
I love how you like abandon everything about it. You're like, it's Seither. You're like, you know, it's who cares about the race, the color, the team, the country. It's like, nah, mate. It's just Seither.
It was too much for me to try and learn in literally like in literally like the 2 minutes before the match. So I was just like, screw it. I'm just gonna introduce the player and nothing else.
Oh god.
It's too much to learn.
Beautiful. Thank you for that, Seth. I mean, thank you for that, Jet. both people, I guess. You didn't have to do it. You're not from Latin America, but you know what? Thanks, Jet.
I tried for the content and because I am a good friend of the Cranky Ducklings. You know, I'm going to honor, you know, the community challenge as the caster, as a Ducklings adjacent person, you know,
Mhm.
as a fan of the StarCraft scene, you know, I did it for the fans.
She did it for the fans. Oh boy. And speaking of, like, shout out to, there are actually a couple of people in the chat who have been here since this morning as well. Zerg Troll, what are you doing right now? What are you Why are you awake? God damn it.
Where Zerg Troll is.
He's from the land of the Americas. God damn it.
It's like 7 a.m.
You could hear you like slam the table, so you're like, what?
I wasn't turning on my phone to look at the time. It's literally like, hang on, because I know so many people in the United States, I have like most of the time zones, at least in the North America. By most of the time zones, I mean East Coast and West Coast. East Coast it is 6 a.m., Central is 5 a.m., and West Coast is 3 a.m.
Jesus Christ.
Why are you awake?
Oh god. All right. So, other than that, another person who's awake, who I'm shocked by, we haven't actually been able to talk about the players, but Seither, he is here. He rarely shows up for tournaments, even like the ESL Dare Cups, he would rarely show up, but he's here. He's here for his boy Demi, for the Shark, and he's currently getting all in.
Yeah, he's getting Ling Roach Ravager all in here.
Oh god.
He's not very prepared. He's got Stim on the way. I think he went 1-1-1.
He doesn't have a tank.
Banshee on the way. Oh, he doesn't have a tank though. He doesn't have a tank. He's only got a Banshee on the way, and this is already hitting this Ling Ravager push. He's gonna go with the whole position micro with this SCVs to keep the Lings out, which is, you know, it's doing him some good. Like, he's got a wall up already. He's got this wall up, which is actually doing, you know, it's doing a pretty good job at holding here. But there is quite a few Ravagers here.
Exactly, and the wall is gonna go down again. There is a Banshee on the way, but it's not done yet, and the Ling Roach Ravager is busting through.
Oh my god, there's so much damage here, and GG's called. Nuks will take game one. While I was being embarrassed, the game was over.
Oh my god. So this is crazy. So Seither, he's legitimately one of the best players in all of the region. He is hands down the best Terran player in the region, and he's already down 1-0 to Nuks.
Yeah, like that is not good. That's not a good way to start off the series, I'll tell you what.
That's crazy, and that's an amazing way to start the series for Nuks.
Yeah, Ling Ravager push just winning straight off the bat is, it's pretty significant.
Yeah, definitely. And again, like Seither, it's interesting to see, or it's great to see that he's here to support his boy, to support Demi. It's cool. It puts the question like how informed he is, because I don't know if he's even touched the game since ESL Pro Tour autumn or fall. So but definitely, like, it's really cool to see Nuks already taking the first game, because Nuks, he's a good player, but he's overshadowed by some of the other Zergs in the region, like Miyamika, Ender, or even Demi.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. Yeah, it's pretty cool to see, honestly. Like, that was that was really, really good. Taking a leg up like that, just like that.
Yeah, it's it's crazy, and it looks like the next map will be Pillars of Gold. We're just remaking the lobby because they forgot WCS, so they're remaking.
I think send out the wrong map as well.
Yeah.
It was yeah.
It's all good.
This is looking lag points. Oh, that's really funny. Oh my goodness. God. That was a pretty. To be fair, I wasn't really paying attention much to the match because I was kind of losing it because. But you know what? It was still a good match. You know, Nuks taking down a player of the caliber of Seither is pretty significant.
Oh yeah, definitely. And we'll see how he does here in game number 2. It's going to be crazy, especially if Nuks is able to do the impossible and 2-0 Seither.
Yeah, people are looking at, I'll just checking the MMRs in the chat. There is a 500 MMR divide between these players, I think. Was it 500 MMR? Nope, it is way more than that.
I was about to
It is
say
1,200.
yeah, like Seither, I mean, I think most people would rate him around 6k, around the level of Pez, and Pez is around 6k. But yeah, my god.
Yeah, that's just like playing up like that and beating somebody, even with something like a Ravager laying all in, that's still like the defense is doable for Terran. If they know what's coming, like it's not the most difficult defense in the world, especially when you already have a Tech Lab starport for a Banshee. But Nuks just he pulled it away. Anyways, spotting in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, we have the blue Terran. Oh yeah, this is Pillars of Cold Ellie, by the way. The blue Terran. Playing from the land of Australia and representing Mindfreak's SC2. It is Seither.
I feel like subconsciously that Spanish intro broke you. I feel like
I have clinical anxiety, so doing something like that definitely didn't help. I'll say that much. Casting is already like on the like deep end of nerves to me.
Hey, it was great. We all loved it. And speaking of loving it, here we have the Filipino Zerg player currently representing GDA team, currently up 1-0 in this best of 3 against the best Terran in the region. It is Nuks.
All right, pool. You know, hatching ass pool. From Nuks. So starting off standard, but of course, on 2 base you can do quite a lot, even with a hatch gas pool. For example, you could, you can go like a 19 drone Ravager Rush. You can do, 44 drone Roach Ravager. You can do 2 base Spire. There's lots of cheeky things you can do as a 2 basing Zerg. But we will see. It looks like a standard 1-1, potentially another 1 onto that coming out from Seither. Seeing as he hasn't built the second barracks yet.
Yeah, definitely. And honestly, like on Everdream, something like, the big 2 base all-in, like it is, fairly popular, or fairly, that if you're going to do it, that's the map that you're going to do it on. Pillars of Gold, it's a little bit longer. There's a lot more room to, to prepare, to scout as well. But to be fair, Pillars of Gold is one of the maps that, like, in a mid-game or in a macro game, like, I feel like Zerg is a little bit favored just because of how open the map can be.
Look at those open spaces, Light. There's big open spaces surrounded by ramps. Like, look at that. You're just looking at it right now. There's another one right there. There's so many places for a Zerg to just surround from all directions, from the high ground onto a clustered army. This is like Cyril's playground right here. Of course, he's known for these clips of like just, massive, insane surrounds. It's like, how did he even get those things there? And on a map like this, it's very easy to do that.
Yeah.
Like, just shift clicking your units around the map, it's so open.
That's why I'm excited. I want to see what Nuks can do here on a map like Pillars of Gold against Seither, and we'll see as the game progresses. Seither, he did go, as you said, he did go for that 1-1-1 opening. Ooh, interesting. He didn't go for the switch though, so he's not going for a Banshee or a Raven.
He's going for that quick stim as he pumps out his opening Hellions. With the Liberator, so this is probably going to be something like a 6 Hellion Liberator push in the front, approximately.
Yeah, this is something that I know Yaku specifically, he loves this opener, because, you distract with your Hellions on one side, and ideally your Liberator is queued up to go into the main at the same time, and hopefully you distract your opponent and you kill a bunch of drones.
Yep, absolutely. It's a very strong multi-prong attack. Like, Hellions are very, I won't say difficult, but they're a lot. They're a handful to deal with. Yeah, if you have enough Lings and Queens, obviously you can deal with them, but then when you also have a Liberator in the main, yeah.
Oh god. And I love how I don't know where Zergtroll got that number from, but he's like guessing your age question mark? Like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Jet's like Yaku. She's one of the 2000 kids. Like, oh god. Just reminds all of us how old we are in comparison. F's in the chat.
I'm the zoomer of the group. Alright, well, Spore's here. Pushing back the Liberator. This Hellions just now coming in. Gonna get a few drones here. This Hellions not really getting much done, they're just hanging out, and this Liberator's gonna die.
Yeah, the Liberator didn't really get to do too much, but the Hellions are sneaking into the third. Oh, they don't manage to get into the mineral line, though.
Yeah, there's 4 queens here, there's Lings to hold them back. It's, you know, it's gonna be very difficult for this opening to deal damage. Of course, this is like a very standard TvZ opening. Zergs are very used to defending this. It's why you'll see very quick, just mass amounts of queens. You get like 10, 15 Lings to start off with once you've saturated it that natural. So that you can, you know, defend around 5 minutes when it hits.
Yeah, definitely, and it was really good the way that Nuks was able to split up his army. He didn't send all his queens to deal with the Liberator. It was like just a single queen and spores, and he made sure he kept everything at his third to make sure the Hellions didn't get to, you know, do too much.
Yeah, he dealt with that basically as well as you can. No damage was done, you know, maybe 2 drones, and that was it. And yeah, Seither just forced to try and look for some information while he continues to macro up. Pretty standard bio 1-1-1. He's up to his 3 bunkers, barracks with 2 more on the way. He's E-base 1-1, a couple of medevacs, a couple of tanks, and combat shields.
Yeah, Seither doing what he does best, you know, play in that buyer style. He's not like Azure, he's the kind of Terran player who can definitely mix things up, and he's fond of both bio and mech in this matchup. But Seither, he's having none of that. He's going full, you know, Maru-esque. And yeah, we'll see how he does here against Nuks. Nuks, he does already have Banelings on the way. He has his own upgrades on the way as well, and he didn't really take too much damage from that opener.
Yep, he's got a nice handful of Banelings here. He's already got that Bane speed, and he's looking for a run by here, but he does have 2 tanks and 16 Marus on the way. Sorry. Yeah, just a pretty standard Marine tank push. Gonna try and pick up the 4th here, and he might cancel it. He's gonna lose it. That's a kill.
Wow, that hatchery went down incredibly fast. The army just wasn't there to defend against it, and at the same time, the Hellions get in.
Yeah, that stim timing hitting good. Hellions gonna get in here, do quite a bit of drone damage. Meanwhile, the drop gonna go into the main. 16 Marines, 2 medevacs, and a main. This should deal a pretty decent amount of damage. The Lings are on the way. There is a run by here in the 3rd as well. There's quite a bit of damage. That's actually quite a lot of SCVs. The Crush is coming in. Gonna be able to get the pickups. Pretty nice. He only loses a few. Not too bad.
And oh my god, as all that was happening, you pointed out, 19 SCVs went down. Like, Nuks with the counterattack, that was actually insane damage.
Nuks is playing this really, really well. Like, he defended the drop insanely well. He did lose his 4th, but like, his defense against the actual army when it was threatening his army and his, you know, his mining bases was really well done. And the premeditated counterattack, it was like an anti-timing almost. Like, he was sending the counterattack around the time when the 1-1 stim was 1-1 combat shields was gonna finish up, which is when the timing of the Marine tank timing would have hit. I'm really good at speaking.
Yeah, and it's a little bit worrying because, like, I feel like losing that 4th base, the biggest thing, it isn't about the economy, it's about the larva, especially when you're going Ling Bane. Like, it's so larva intensive. Like, you need that 4th hatchery to pump out those units, and now Seither, he's pushing out. He lost a lot of SCVs earlier, but this army is still pretty terrifying.
Yeah, his production was just continuing throughout the entirety of that, throughout the counterattack and throughout his push. He just kept the production going, and yeah, what even is Nux's like main tech? He's got Hydras. Okay, I'm paying attention, I promise. Hydra Bane, but he doesn't have like any Hydras out. He's full Ling Bane right now.
Yeah,
against a diverse pre-split high ground Marine tank army. There's a lot of tanks here.
Oh my god,
All right, he's going in. This pre-split doing quite well. The stim in, nice arc. He's gonna be able to pull back. These tanks doing a lot of damage. Going to be able to discourage a lot of these banelings. The pre-split's really well done here, and he's going to be able to just take the wing here. Really, really nice micro in control.
GG, Seither ties it up, and yeah, like exactly, he had that Hydra tech, and I don't know if you saw, but Nuks, he had like over 1k gas bank. He was really you know, lacking that production to make a wave of Hydras to help support his army, because honestly, like in that final engagement, the Ling Bane hits were pretty good. Like it wasn't like, you know, an insane engagement from Seither. He just, Nuks needed something else to back it up, and he just didn't have anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And yeah, it just came down to just really good control. Like, he was set up really nicely, and there was no secondary tech from Nuks. He had the Hydra, and he just wasn't making Hydras because he was so committed to the Ling Bane. And like you said, losing that fourth really put a dent in Nux's production, especially when all he had was Ling Bane. So it was very difficult to do anything other than Ling Bane.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely, because like the moment you don't produce like Ling Bane, you just die, right? You need it to hang on. And yeah, that was really well done by Seither. Well done by both players. Like Nuks definitely had a lot of like good opportunities, and his counterattacks were just on point. He was just lacking, I feel like, map vision. If he had seen Seither's push out to the fourth base, then his army could have been in position to, like, you know, delay it or hold and keep his fourth alive.
Yeah, his creep spread was solid, but it wasn't fast. You know, like, it was good creep spread, but it wasn't, you know, it didn't cover as much as it could have. And he didn't have a lot of units on that part of the map, especially because he was preparing that counterattack, that anti-timing counterattack, knowing he was going for that stim 1-1 combat shields marine tank push. It's a pretty common timing. I need to learn more about timings as myself to become a better CVT player. I consider it my strong suit, but at the same time, I need to be better about scouting timings. Anyways, here we are in Eternal Empire LE. ELE. Which, of course, if you weren't aware, stands for Educational Extreme Lightning Extender. Extreme Educational Lightning Extender. It's like, you know how the Burj Khalifa is like a lightning rod for the entirety of like that, like the entire city? Yeah, it's kind of like that, except it's also a school. So it's educational. I don't know why it's a lightning extender. When it's, you know what? You know what? This bit is dumb. I'm moving on. Alright. Spotting him in the bottom left-hand corner of the map. That was really weak. I'm sorry. We have the Red Zerg hailing from the Philippines, playing for a GDA team. We have, you know, a player that's looking pretty strong this series. His name is Nuks.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Eternal Empire LE, we have the Australian Terran player, currently representing Team Mindfreak. It is Seither.
I think that was one of the worst LEs I've ever done.
This is why Steel has a list of L's and a list of E's, and he just pulls from them.
Listen, I think it's funnier when I struggle and just come up with something off the top of the dome, but sometimes they're just so incredibly bad that I might as well not have said anything.
You're like, I think it's funny when I, like, take it off the dome, but sometimes the dome is just too smooth, you know? It just it just doesn't work.
Bald. I'm just bald. I'm bald. It's insane. What's going on?
Oh god.
Jet bald cell.
F's in the chat. I mean, you know what? It was fine. It was great. You know, a lightning school of extenders Question mark?
Burj Khalifa, but a big old school.
Well, I didn't even know what that is. What's a Burj Khalifa? I was like, what? Is that like some
building in the world?
Some Warhammer stuff? I don't even know. Tallest thing.
The tallest building in the world. It's in Dubai.
Dubai?
Probably. Hang on, I'm googling this.
Yo, you didn't even know. You didn't even know what this is.
Yep, it's in Dubai.
There we go.
It's the tallest building in the world. It's in Dubai, and it acts as a lightning rod for the entire city because it's that tall.
Can people safely be inside that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was designed to be very safe. Like if you look at pictures of it, it's very sturdy looking.
Okay. Interesting. This sounds like the tower of like an evil scientist. He's like, oh yeah, it's great, it's safe, it's beautiful. He's like, yes, I finally have like a regular like lightning rod, you know, to drive power from like the skies. It's okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, we have a Banshee opening. I saw that cloak earlier. I definitely wasn't mostly looking at my second monitor, googling things, and also a fusion core reactor. Yeah. Fusion core. That's it.
Yeah. So there was a Banshee and there was cloak, but he did cancel it because he was going through the fusion core. So he was trying to deceive his opponents.
Yeah. When you see that tech lab working, you're like, it's cloak. Slap down the spores. Get them out there, get the overseers, and then boom, battle cruiser in your base. Fun fact: I quit this game for a few months because of BCs.
I understand your pain.
I was so fed up with every game being a Hellbat, siege tanks, Thors, and BCs. It was legitimately every game. That was the worst, like, period in time for ZVT on Diamond Ladder. It was just so bad. Because I was terrible at dealing with it. Because that counters my exact playstyle, which is just sit back and macro up. Like, the way to counter that is to be active in the map and constantly be harassing and containing, which is kind of more my playstyle now. Like, I go for that, you know, fast meta, and I'll try and harass and contain. But back then, I was just like, alright, I'm just gonna build, like, 85, 90 drones and just chill back with, like, far too few units. Again, I'm gonna make the Scarlet reference, but I think it's appropriate there. Like, just building too many drones and just dying because I don't have army, and, like, there's mech units in my door. Anyways, there's 8 Hellions here, and they just did a ton of damage.
Exactly. The BC is here as well. The Queens were ready for the BC, but the Hellions are chasing down the drones.
Oh, they're gonna get quite a few more drone kills here because those Queens were distracted by the BC. The BC almost going down, but still, it distracted the Queens, and there's a lot of Lings here. They're gonna be able to get the Hellions eventually, but not before 11 Hellions, 11 drones go down. Oh no, this BC! Yeah, this is the BC. That is an issue.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's weird. Like, both players kind of took some heavy losses. Like, 11 drones went down, but at the same time, the BC also went down, and that's something that you never want to see as the Terran player. And now the Lings are counterattacking, and there's not much here. There's 4 Hellions.
Yeah, there's nothing to defend. Losing that BC is pretty significant. It's like, yeah. Like, sure, he gets 11 drones, but losing everything on that, like, not even saving the BC to continue harassing, like, straight up losing it, that's a problem. But he's got another BC. The sunk cost fallacy has you know, it's fully taken hold of Seither. He's like, I lost 1 BC. I gotta get another. I've spent too much on this fusion core. You know, I'm in there. I'm just gonna keep building them and just gonna keep smacking my head against the Zerg and hope it works. And he does have 63 workers. To be fair,
yeah,
like, he's got the money for it.
Definitely. And Nuks, like, earlier he just got the opening, and now with the revelation of these Cyclones, like, he should be aware that Seither, as opposed to game number 2, he is going for mech. You were talking about it, you were talking about how you hated it, but here we go. We've got Cyclones, Hellions, Thors, BCs.
God, it's so obnoxious.
Oh god, I hope you don't get too much PTSD here, Jet. It's
just gonna run around the map with the Hellions and Cyclones, and he's gonna, like, have, like, 15 Thors and, like, a death ball, and you can't touch them because the Thors. And he's gonna have like 3 BCs following everything. You can't even build mutas because he's got 15 Thors.
That's the problem, right? I'm so scared for Nuks because he's making nothing but mutas. He's even getting +1 flyer attacks, and there are Thors ready and waiting, and they're just gonna absolutely annihilate these.
To be fair, there is only 2 Thors, and with this many mutas, he has a chance. Not much of a chance, but with, you know, if he gets a really quick magic box, it's doable. Absolutely. It would cost him a lot of mutas, but he can still kill the Thors. But there's still more Thors in the melee.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, there are missile turrets here defensively as well to protect the Thors, so you have to be so careful as Nuks. Like, it's so difficult to pull this off. It's definitely possible, but you know, it takes a lot of micro, a lot of APM, a lot of attention to make sure you babysit these and macro at the same time.
Correct. That is the that's the thing with mutas. Mutas are really strong right now, but they also have the issue of being very APM intensive.
Oof, oh god!
He's not on the, okay, he's on the splash shots now. I don't think he was at first because I didn't see any other health bars go down, but now he is, and he's got to get out of there. Somehow slips away with only 2 losses.
Oh my god, yeah, that could have been a lot worse, but Nuks, he does slip away with his mutas, and the Thors, Seither is trying to spread them out, and he does have 1 in each of his bases, so Nuks is gonna have a hard time trying to poke in. What he can do, though, pretty well is contain his opponent and make it difficult for Seither to take a 4th.
Yeah, this is exactly the kind of thing you want to do to prevent the mech from getting out of control to the point where you just lose as soon as they max out and walk across the map. Is stopping them from being able to econ and max out. Containing with these mutas. Like, he's gonna lose a few, he's gonna trade out, but he's gonna keep just annoying him and keeping him from really getting that really that big upgraded teched out mech max out, which is so dangerous.
Oh yeah, definitely. And we do see Nuks, he has stopped muta production. Like, these are the only mutas he has on the field. I say that, but he's actually committing and getting +2 flyer attacks, so interesting choice here. Like, he's continuing to upgrade his units. Meanwhile, he does have a ground army, but I don't, oh no, he only just realized he has no bailing speed.
Oh no, he missed the bailing speed. Oh, that's gonna be rough for him, especially he has transformed to Hellbats. Oh, he's gonna attack, he's going in. He wants to end this now. He's got a decent bit of Roach Ravager. He's got these Banelings coming in, but it's not doing a lot. He didn't target down the Hellbats with the Banelings. The Hellbat's gonna do quite a bit here. These mutas not gonna be able to do enough, but the Thor is enough to discourage this fight.
Yeah, and like, thankfully there was only 1 tank, so even though he didn't have bailing speed, you know, they managed to waddle and actually get on top of the army anyway, so that was kind of lucky for Nuks. And yeah, we do see he is transitioning, getting Corruptors out, which are going to be ideal against the BCs, and I mean, potentially Broodlords as well later on.
I think Broodlords is a good choice. The problem is that you have to change up the way that you play when you have Broodlords. You can't keep pushing in like this. You have to stay at home. You have to stay defensive. You have to play on creep. And his creep spread, it's not as good as it was in the game against Starduck.
Yeah.
It's pretty heavily contained here. At this point, he should be at least covering half the map, which would definitely help if he has Broodlords and like this Roach Ravager to sort of like contain the mech army and keep him from just marching across the map and A-clicking. But I don't know if this is enough here. Yeah, there's a lot of siege tanks too, which are really good against pure Roach.
Exactly. I mean, to be fair, the siege tanks are kind of naked, so the Roaches get on top of 2 of the tanks, so they are going to be taken out, and even gets into the middle line.
Yeah, and he's going to be able to focus down this Thor here. It's pretty nice. But there's more Thors on the way. The Thor flank! Thor is here!
Oh god. Yeah, the Thors, they do waddle in. They are a little bit too slow, and it looks like the majority of the mutas are going to be taken out here as they did sneak into the main base. And I think, yeah, this goes to show like how if you go for a style like this, then it can be so difficult to keep up with something like Creep Shred, because like so much of your APM, so much of your attention is on these mutas that's like how it affects you know, the rest of your macro, and that's what separates like someone like Nuks to someone like, I don't know, like Ender or even Scarlet, right? Like having to try and keep up with everything on top of it.
Absolutely. I definitely would have made that comparison to Scarlet. Scarlet known for both creep spread and muta play. Yeah, being able to split your attention like that is something that is very difficult to do, but if you can do it, you are such a dangerous player. Like, honestly, it's the style I try to go for, but I definitely don't have the APM for it right now, especially since I'm out of practice. As I look at my own hands, uh, but you know, it's it's my excuse for floating so much because I'm always floating minerals and gas because I don't focus on production. I focus on creep spread and meter control. But you know what? Hey, it's part of the process.
Yeah, definitely, and I will say that it's still fun to do. Like it's a
Oh,
very
it's so fun. Like
yeah.
having creep spread up to their 4th base at 5 minutes is like, what are you gonna do? I've got like 20 meters in your main and I've got like a Ling Bane in your 4th base. Sure, I'm 2000, but still, you know, you're dying.
Exactly, and Nuks, he actually engaged pretty well. He was actually able to take out the planetary. Unfortunately, the Corruptors couldn't do anything because the BCs were harassing across the map.
Yeah, the Corruptors were kind of useless there. They weren't where they needed to be, but he does take out the 4th, which is pretty significant. After bashing his head into it several times and losing quite a lot of army. He is, of course, playing a very... Oh, he's gonna snipe it. Oh, wow. Beautiful Biles! The pretty Biles, the big brain prediction. What a god.
That was that was actually a big brain play. I loved that. That was beautiful.
Nuks 200 IQ compilation, 2,000 views on YouTube. Here it comes.
Oh my god, and the Corruptors chase down the last BC. The Baileys are rushing in as well.
He's just going for the planetary. He's gonna Bane bust down the planetary here, light. There is just a bunch of Thors and siege tanks here, however, and there isn't enough army here from Nuks that can deal with this heavy anti-armored army. You know, siege tank's really good against just pure roach. There is a few ravages here, but not enough. He's gonna try and trade out this little like front of the army. Try and, you know, get a few of these expensive, you know, tanks. But, you know, he's just gonna get out. He's gonna go attack somewhere else. He's just being annoying, really, as he transitions. Never mind, I lied. He's not transitioning. I should look at the production tab more.
Yeah, he was able to draw the army away. You know, there are no siege tanks here fighting, so Nuks is trying to take the best engagements that he can. And honestly, like, he's doing fairly well, like killing these planetaries. But the problem is Seither, he always has like a CC to replace them.
Yeah, Seither is always like really on point with his macro right now, especially because he's playing this mech style. You have to be so precise and on point, and paying so much attention to your production, your macro, your econ, you know, stuff like that. It's very important with mech, and he's doing it pretty damn well, I gotta say.
Yeah, I mean, Seither showing us that, you know, he isn't just good at bioplay, he can also whip out that mech style, and finally he's gotten to the point where he's maxed out and he's now finally confident enough to push out across the map.
Here's the danger moment, split up siege tanks, you know, Thor's in the front, and yeah, it's just the GG. That's the point I was talking about earlier. With the mech being maxed out, it's just so dangerous. I'm stalling. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Seither takes it 2-0. Yes, sir. Here it is. Nuks going down 2-1. I don't know why I said 2-0. Still, Nuks, what a valiant fight. He played really well for, you know, the player he was going up against, I gotta say.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like Nuks, he really, obviously he showcased his skills in game 1, and even here in the final game, like, he was doing fairly well going toe-to-toe with Seither throughout the entire game. It was just, yeah, little like moments here and there where he was slipping up, like the creep spread, like expanding as well, you know, having like a good enough economy to afford to throw away so much supply constantly.
Yeah, it was just one of those situations where it got to the point in the game where, what am I trying to say here? It got to the point in the game where Seither, just being at that higher level of play, was just able to out macro him, because Seither was making next to no mistakes with his macro, and Nuks was making these minor mistakes that just start adding up against a player that makes as few mistakes as, you know, somebody on the level of Seither.
Yeah, definitely, and it was looking really scary to begin with for Seither, but he, you know, he quells the fears. Like, he's like, you know what, I'm still Seither, I'm still one of the best in the region. I'm not going to go down in the quarterfinals, I'm going to advance and go at least all the way to the semis.
Yes, sir. He saw that Ravager rush and he was like, no, I'm going to win this. And he's like, all right, time to go full macro machine mode. And he did it. Yes, sir. You did it.